All right, thank you for joining. So today we'll go over BTC on the CMA chart. And yeah, let's just jump right into it, right? So I've had this level marked out for quite some time. This, I believe, is a weekly demand area, as you can see. So last weekly area before we had a nice move to the upside, creating demand, which was front ran just a little bit, and now prices come right back down to that area. So I did mark this out a lot earlier in my Twitter, as you can see here. Let's go back to the main page. And I said, look, this aged well, right? So Bitcoin incoming, 98,000. This was on October 16th, which was right back around here. So once we had this big little liquidation to the downside, I said, you know what? Took out all these lows. The next area with the most support has to be 98,000. So in my opinion, we're probably going to get there. Not sure how long it will take, but we will get there, right? So I made that post right around there. And as you can see, we've made our way to the downside. So what am I expecting to happen next? Well, to be honest, I'm expecting a rise to the upside. So there's only two things that can happen at this level is we get more selling pressure, break this ascending trend line, back test it as resistance, and continue down to the next level, which is around 75,000, right? This is the next major level, 75,000. Or we find support, right, and start trading all the way back to all-time highs. Obviously, there's going to be some resistance along the way. Might not be as nice and clean, but yeah. So there's only two ways this can play out. But the good thing is we are currently at local, well, high time frame support, not really local. And yeah, we're just hoping that, not really hoping, but we're waiting to see if this level will hold. This 96, 97,000 level will hold. In my opinion, if we lose this ascending trend line, which has been on the ups, which has been ascending since October 5th, 2024, very, very strong trend line. Let me see if I even move it to here. Yeah, so see? So these two touch points here is what's been holding. These two touch points. It held here, right? In April 2025, almost a year later. And let's see here. And a little bit about a year and a half after that touch point, we're coming back and touching it one more time, right? After that retest, I should say. So very strong trend line. This is clearly a basically 2-year trend line, right? Almost 2-year trend line. So if this breaks, there's no doubt in my mind we will come back down and retest those lows right around there, right? That is for sure just the most obvious, biggest support resistance zone after this level fails, which is right around $75,000, which is also right around a psychological level. And yes, in my opinion, if we break this trend line, I think the bull market is over unless we can reclaim it. The pump started a little bit earlier than everyone thought, so I wouldn't be surprised if it ends earlier than everyone thinks too as well, right? Yeah, and this could just lead into a multi-year bear market where maybe this is a head and shoulders pattern, which is just playing out right now. Maybe we do get the push to the downside, price comes down 75,000, right? Get some euphoria back into the market, price comes up, hits these levels, hits 110,000 before slowly coming back down once again, getting some very big bearish pressure, pushing through that support, back testing it, failing, coming back down, and who knows how low this thing goes, right? But yeah, and then maybe this lasts about 2 years, 2 to 3 years, right? Everything just goes sideways for a while before then the next bull run, right? So I can see something like that playing out, right? Like it doesn't seem too far-fetched, especially when you start to see stuff like this, right? Right, overlay, when you start to see stuff like that, it doesn't seem too far-fetched, right? Everything is fractalized in this market, so yeah, who knows, right? Maybe we do get something like that. Wouldn't be surprised, right? So let's just see how things play out. Be very cautious in the Bitcoin crypto space. Yeah, and in my opinion, most altcoins are dead unless they have a ETF that's coming out soon, right? Or unless they already have an ETF. You go here, you go to your crypto, Ethereum. Even let me just go to a cleaner chart. Even though it looks a little messy, it is holding up quite well, right? It's been in this $2,000 to $4,000 range since the beginning of 2024, and it's just been holding. So I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, since before that, right? You could even go all the way back technically since 2021. It's been like 5 years. Ethereum's been in this $4,000, $2,000 range, it's just holding up. Has an ETF, it's holding up. Bitcoin has an ETF, it's holding up. Right? What's the next one there? Solana. Let's go to Solana. Solana has an ETF. It's holding up right now, right? So I would be focusing on the cryptos that have a ETF, because it seems like with the institutions backing them, yeah, they might dip down pretty low, but it seems like they recover quite well, and it seems like they still have a normal bull market like what most people are used to, right? And the ones that do not have an ETF or have major institutions behind them are not doing so well. I think Tau is another one that has some really big institutions behind it. Pretty much should be an ETF in my opinion. Where is it? Let's go to the focus group here. So Tau, as you can see, holding up quite well. Big institutions behind it. One that you would think would probably get some ETFs maybe would be Cardano, right? But this one's not holding up too well. Look at that. Since the last bull run, not really doing too much. Already died for the most part. Below the previous year's, well, 2025's value area low. Might be going back down to 25 cents. And let's see here. Litecoin might get an ETF. You may think it's not holding up well, but it is holding up quite well on the grand scheme of things. It's just been making higher highs and higher lows, technically higher lows since 2019. So don't overlook that. This may actually pump pretty crazy in my opinion. I would not be surprised if Litecoin ends up reaching crazy highs, right? Let's see what's going on here. All right. Yeah. Don't know if we'll get that high, but you never know, right? Would not be surprised if we see something crazy like that for Litecoin, possibly going up into that Ethereum market cap range eventually, right? Or at least price range, right? $4,000 Litecoin. Seems crazy, but at the same time, not that crazy. So yeah, any project with big institutions behind it holding up quite well. Ondo actually holding up quite well. BlackRock is backing this project. Real world assets, RWA, it is holding up quite well. Let me go ahead and clean this up. All right, look at that. It hasn't really died much. Yeah, it had a massive wick to the downside, but it's just holding this range pretty much ever since launch. So not too bad there on the grand scheme of things. Where anything else, I could just scroll, click. Well, not that one. Click, pretty much dead. Scroll, click. All right, pretty much dead. Scroll, click, pretty much dying. Do this all day. Dying. SWE might be holding up quite well. SWE has some big institutions behind it. It is holding up, but it needs to stay above $1.75, or else yeah, it's probably gonna go all the way back down to 50 cents. So yeah, really focus on these ETF cryptos, and remember to follow me on X, like and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see how everything plays out here in the upcoming weeks and days. But yeah, like I said before, Bitcoin is looking very interesting at a very big support zone. Take off logarithmic. Oh, not sure what happened there. Let's see here. Yeah. So yeah, at a pretty big support zone, we're watching at $98,000 level, and yeah, we'll just see what happens next. So that's pretty much it. Once again, thank you for joining, and take care.